ancient Greek philosophy. Right? Okay. And the ancient Greeks also adopted some of their ideas from the Egyptians. Okay, so look. This is basically the wisdom of man. This is what psychology teaches. This is what the universities teach. This is also what many churches teach. There's only one problem with this. You know what the problem is? It's a lie. It's not true. It really ain't true. And I'll tell you why it's not true. Because this whole idea is founded upon condemnation. Condemnation simply means God doesn't love you, so now you have to look after yourself. Or God is unwillingly to do something for you, or God is distant, separated from you. So you're disconnected from your life source, which is who is God. So now you have to search, so now you have to achieve your way back to God. Now you have to become a God unto yourself to secure your well-being, your security, and to overcome death. You see? That's what all mysticism is all about. Okay? So it's self-righteousness. The thing, however, is that though to Adam's fall, human beings were born in sin, born in separation, we are born dying, and we are born, and if nobody intervenes, we'll become reprobates and will be in a permanent state of satanic rage for all eternity. You see? But the separation is an effect upon us, not upon God, because He's eternal. So without beginning and without any end. And that means He cannot change, He's immutable. So the offense of Adam and the offense of all human beings that followed, that came out of Adam, does not impact nor change who God is. So what we do cannot separate God from us. You see? What we do is we separate ourselves from God, and the separation exists here. When we walk in condemnation, we are declaring ourselves independent from God, and we blame it on God. And that's what this is all about. That's what religion is all about. That's what mysticism is all about. That's what sin and unrighteousness are all about. All evil simply is not trusting the Most High. So, what did God do? He became a human being. He manifested Himself in the flesh. He was born as a human being. He walked among us. And the sin and curse of mankind, He took it on Himself. He became the curse, and He dealt with it once and for all. His blood is shed at Calvary, washes away all sins and iniquities of mankind from the universe, once and for all. So basically, Christ dealt with the enmity between us and God. The enmity that was among us, He did, and that we had, He dealt with it. It's gone. There never was a real separation between God and man, because this whole universe is held together in the being of Christ. So the whole universe is held together in the being of Christ, so that implies that you can never truly be separated from Christ. Let me say it like this. I'm not teaching universalism here. Everyone's eventually saved. No, absolutely not. The whole creation is an expression of God. And the whole creation is held together by Christ, who is the Creator. So the only thing that can happen with creation is that it becomes disconnected from God, not separated. And this disconnection through sin causes death and all those other things. And you see, and that's disconnection comes through not trusting upon God. You see? And condemnation is the excuse for that disconnection. Well, by Jesus' death, burial, and resurrection, he had undone what Adam did. He restored all things unto himself. And basically, the disconnection is removed. The sins that testified against us are removed. So Christ finished it. And the working out of it, we'll see till the last day, and we added a second coming of Christ, the victory of what he did will be manifested throughout eternity. So when you become born again, you're basically becoming connected again to God himself. Okay? And that is a one-time process. Once you're saved, you're forever saved. Okay? But now your mind, your soul needs to be reprogrammed to walk according to your salvation. And that's the process of sanctification and deliverance. You see? After you become saved, you don't try to get in good favor with God, not achieve God's favor or achieve God's approval. You don't. Because that whole idea is based upon the lie of condemnation, that God is separated from you. But that's not true. And by saving you, Christ also is saving you from the lie. But now our soul needs to be reprogrammed to not operate in the lie anymore. And you'll notice that that's the whole issue. Because human beings are walking in darkness, darkness is simply ignorance and unbelief. Because they walk into a separation that doesn't exist, that's why they also treat others with separation. That's why you have all those divisions in human communities. That's why you have division between rich and poor. That's why you have an us versus them mentality. Unity by exclusion. All of that are the result of treating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. See, I eat from the tree of life, which is Christ. That's why he manifests. His life is manifested in me. You see, people that are unsaved, see, they only have patterns and cycles, which you call laws by which they operate. And that's what they're holding on to.
Nee, goedemiddag dames en heren. Over enkele ogenblikken komen wij binnen op station Tilburg. Tilburg kunt u overstappen voor de richting Sertogenbos-Os. Uw intercity aftrekt was voor 1 om 16:24. Dus dit hetzelfde spoor waar we op binnen gaan komen. Reisjes voor de richting Bokstel, Best. Uw sprinters aftrekt was spoor 1 om 16:28. Beëindigt u de reis bijna en vergeet dan niet uit te checken. Deze intercity zal doorrijden richting Eindhoven, Helmond, Deurne, Horst, Zevenum, Blerik en met het eindpunt Venlo.
Okay.
Dames en heren, station Tilburg.
You see, and because of that they don't have real life, they have stagnation. You see what unbelievers do? And this is what the whole world is about, all religions, all politics, and almost all social dynamics is about looking for life somewhere in creation. You see, the whole thing is, if they would just realize that they are not separated from the Creator, but that the whole creation is an expression of the Creator, and that the whole universe is held together by Christ, who is the Creator. If they recognize this and be thankful, then that's basically it. When they surrender to Christ, they are saved. And now the life of Christ will flow to them. through them. They have eternal life. But because they're unthankful and because they want to hold on to condemnation, it is this. Because where there's condemnation, there's law. So there's self-effort and there's control. Because unbelievers don't trust God, they're holding on to a separation that doesn't exist in order to have an excuse to hold on to control so that they can become God and they can be the center of the universe. You see, this was maybe a long lecture for you guys, but I hope I've helped some people with this. Because Christians need to get rid of this crap. Because that's really what it is. It's crap. It's not real. It appears real, but it's not. Just think about it. Think about it, folks. The whole idea of personal space, privacy, and separation is to have control. Control upon consequences in reality. So you want to have power over others, you want to have control over others. So that's why you claim a certain area as your own. But hold on a minute. The Most High is the owner and creator of the universe, so he owns everything, you own nothing. That means that all space everywhere belongs to God. So you don't have any entitlement to control. And that's what private ownership, property is all about. It's about having the right to control, to exclude. But wait a minute. When you put God in the picture, and he is not separated from us, from the physical realm, and the whole universe is held together by him, by Christ, then all of that minus that ego, it has no root, it has no foundation in reality because it's founded upon a lie. And well, that's what the world is doing, holding on to a lie of separation. And they choose separation from God to hold on to fantasies. And you know, the majority will keep on holding on to it, and they will be divorced by God from the human race, and they'll spend eternity disconnected from God's presence. They're not separated from him because the whole universe is held together by Christ, but they are disconnected from him. So they don't have life, they have death. Well, don't follow that philosophy that might say because it's anti-Christ, it's not installed by the Lord. Hold on, I'm going to check my tablets. Yeah. Hold on. Let's see. 55%. I'm going to leave it for a while. Okay. Well, you guys, I've spoken about duality and how it impacts our daily lives and how that it's a lie from the serpent, from Satan. See? Are there any areas in your life where you walk in separation? You need to repent. I'm talking to those that are saved now. If you're an unbeliever, you need to get saved. But for those that are saved, don't operate in separation, because you will be operating in a lie. But you will manifest the fruits of that lie, even though you're saved. Do not follow something that isn't real. And I'm not finished with this, okay? This whole thing of condemnation it goes much deeper than you think. It's not just about daily lives and everything. Oh, let's go further. Let's look around, okay? These are farms, right? There are peasants living around here. And let's say you have farms. You have a land mass, a soil, and you have human beings building houses on that soil, and they mark a piece of that soil, and on a piece of soil they go farming, so that becomes their farm. And let's say you have a group of those farms, a group of families that do this. Now you have a community, a small community. Let's say you have a community that builds a wall and buildings and whole system over there. Now you have what you call a village or a city. Okay, and let's say you have about 200 villages and cities in an area with a lot of farms around. That area is what they call a country. And in that country, you have people that speak the same language, who have the same descent, and they have a common interest. So that's what we call countries. And in an area, there are certain families that have an advantage over other families because they have a better access towards resources, and they become the royal family and the kings and the government. And then from each farm community in each city, you have a few men that give themselves up to become an army to defend that territory that they call a country. What's wrong with this picture? What's wrong is that the whole earth exists out of land mass, of which 70% is underwater. That 70% underwater is what we call seas, oceans, and all of that. Thus the 30% that is dry is just land mass. Okay? So the land is not separated from the sea, from the oceans. It appears that way. It's one whole. Okay? What humans do is the land mass we divide into sections that we call countries and give names to those sections. And those lines don't really exist, but those are imaginary lines that we make. For example, you have a group that live within the mountains, and those people call themselves Helvetii, after one of their male ancestors who probably was called Helveto or something like that. So you had a German guy whose name was Helveto. He had a few women with whom he had sex, and they had a lot of children. 4 generations further, you have about 50,000 people that descend from that guy Helveto, and they call themselves Helvetians, Helveti, and they live in a certain area, and they imagine a separation on the landmass, and they call their country Helvetia. Then you have another tribe over there that descends from a guy called Aquitino, and they are the Aquitanians. See, and another place, and that's how you see nations are formed, by imagining separations that don't exist. So every country is an imaginary separation that people are marking in their minds. The truth is there's only land mass. So the Netherlands here does not really exist. What does exist is the land mass, the human beings living there, the interactions and transactions that are here, and the buildings that are here, and the common language that people have, and the interdependency upon each other. But there is no real separation in which what we call the Netherlands exists. So all countries are imaginary, they are a part of the matrix. They are not real.